Hi, I'm Lulu and welcome to Lulu's Way. I'm glad you're here. As promised, I'm going to have you join me while I do some prep cooking. I'm going to make that batch of roasted veggies that I talked about in my last video. And the ingredients in that is 2 zucchinis, a red pepper, an eggplant, asparagus, a sweet onion, and some fresh garlic. So here I go. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to rinse these off. Just give them a little rinse. Get the sticker off. Rinse. Okay. I'm going to use this container to put all my chopped veggies in so I can season everything and shake it up. I might have to do it in 2 batches so that there's room for it to shake. So I'm going to get my garlic press. If you've never worked with a garlic press, they're pretty awesome. You just put the garlic right in there and you just press it and it presses out here. You don't even have to peel it. So you just go like this, like that. See how it all squirted right there? See it out there? It's about as minced as you can get. Then you just take out the skins, put the next one in. Whoop. Maybe one more. Okay, all of this is going in my compost bin right here. That's where all my garbage goes. This goes in the sink. This goes under here. And then you just gather this all together. And I'll put half in here. And I'm going to do half at a time. And that goes right in there, right in the bucket. Okay. I'm going to use my favorite knife here. This is my absolute favorite knife, and people have been asking me about this knife, and I have a link for it in the description. A lot of people have bought it because it's awesome. So I'm going to put one of the zucchinis in, and I usually just cut the ends off. I cut it down the middle like this, and then I turn it like this together, and then pieces about that size, like that. And This is how I cut a pepper. I just cut the side off right here, and then I just go like this, and I just keep going all around like this, all around the stem like that. Then this just pulls right out, and then just, there you have it. So I'm gonna put like half of it in here like this. A little yucky piece. So I'm going to take the ends of these off, because sometimes the ends of these can get kind of woody. They get very, very tough. So just take the very ends off. I'm going to take half of this. I'm going to cut these in thirds. Take my eggplant, cut the top off, cut the bottom off. Cut it in half the long way, like that. And then I'm going to cut it in half like this. I'm going to cut in quarters and in quarters. All right, so I have this cut in quarters the long way. Now I'm going to do squares going this way. There you have it. Now, I'm going to cut the ends off the onion. This end, this end. Cut it in half. Take that first layer off. One, two, three. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so now we're going to go for some seasonings. So I want salt and pepper, and I want smoked paprika and hot paprika. I'm really enjoying the hot paprika. So I'm going to do pepper, salt, hot paprika, and smoked paprika. Then I'm going to put the cover on. Give it a shake. I'm always ready to cook. Okay. Now look at that. That's all the smoked paprika all over it. It almost looks like it's already been cooked and browned. That's a good thing. So now I'm going to use this big ass pan because it's a big ass amount of food. I'm going to give it a little spray. This is my spray mister, so I use this instead of Pam spray. It's healthier and it's less expensive. So I'm just going to put a little coat of oil on the bottom so nothing sticks. There we go. Then pour this on. Then I'm going to put this over here for now. while I get the second batch prepared. So now we're going to take care of the rest of the veggies, get them all cut up. Pepper. Put the other half of this garlic in. Here we go. A zuccadoodle. Another great thing about this knife is how you can just scoop things up like that. It's because it's so wide. You can scoop stuff up and put it right on. It's a great knife. It's not a cheap knife, but it's a good knife. Okay, pepper, salt, smoked, hot. Cover. There you go, another gorgeous batch of beautiful veggies. Bring my tray back over. It looks so good and they are not even cooked yet. So I'm just going to kind of evenly distribute all this. And this is going out into the big kitchen, into the oven out there. I have the oven preheating to 425, and I'm going to do 425 for half an hour. Then I'm going to check them. I'll give them a toss, and I'll just test and see if anything looks like it needs to be cooked a little bit more. I might put it in for another 5 or 10, or it might be just perfect. The only thing that would not be delicious undercooked is the eggplant. Eggplant needs to be cooked through. If the peppers were a little not quite soft and the asparagus wasn't quite soft, the zucchini, onions, that's fine. Eggplant that's underdone is not delicious. So what I'll do in a half an hour is I will just poke around at the eggplant to see if any of it still feels firm. Every oven is different, so I'm going to say start with 425 for half an hour. I like to put it on the very bottom rack, like close to the burner, so it really roasts from the bottom. And then, so we'll have a look at these in a half an hour. And while these are in the oven, I'm going to make something else. Okay, I'm going to bring this back out. I'm going to bring my big trusty knife back out. And I'm going to bring my 2 rutabagas. They're a very odd looking veggie. All right, so under here is where I keep my Instant Pot. We'll put that right there. We're going to put some water at the bottom, like about that much. That's what I do. So now, this gets interesting, okay, because it's very hard. I want to always cut away from me because these are so tough and you got to use such force that I always want that force to be going away from me rather than towards me. So I start like this and I go like this. I try to take as little, I don't want to go too deep because right under the skin is the vegetable. So once I go through the whole middle like this, then I turn it like this and start going like this. Do the other end. There it is. So I'm going to get my little towel. I'll give it a little rinse. Put it right there. All of this goes in my compost. Same thing here. I'm going to go through the middle. Again, I'm trying not to go too deep because the deeper I go, the more veggie I'm losing. There we go. Rinse that. All of this will be next year's garden soil, which is really a miraculous wonder of nature, how that all works. Okay, so now I'm going to dice this. That was exhausting. Just an FYI, that was kind of exhausting. But here I go again. So I'm going to cut it in half. I might have to do that. Then I'll cut it in each one of these like in thirds. Then I'll cut it like that. I just want them all to be the same size, so they all have the same cooking time, as close to the same size as possible. There you have it. Here's the Instant Pot full. It's got the water in it. Close her up. I'm going to plug her in. And I'm going to check my phone. In my phone, I keep in the notes, Samsung notes, I keep a list of cooking times, pressure cooking times. And these are just things that I've instinctually pick a time that I think would work. Then I try that, and then I say, okay, next time it needs 1 more minute or 1 less minute. and then I just adjust it in here. So the last time I made it, which I felt came out good, it was 3 minutes pressure, 3 minutes natural release. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to put this on, I'm going to hit pressure cook, and I'm going to hit the plus so it goes up to 3. Then I'm going to let it go. Now it's thinking, and it's going to beep and say, okay, we got you. You picked 3. There you go. It says on. So right now, it's building pressure. While it builds pressure, it does some cooking. When it reaches pressure, it will beep to tell me it has reached pressure. And then the 3-minute timer will start. Then it will beep again to tell me my 3 minutes are up. And then I'm going to time, I'll time on my end the 3-minute slow release. So I'm not going to hit the vent until after 3 minutes, another 3 minutes. So it's not building pressure, but it still has the pressure. So it cooks in that residual pressure. And then after 3 minutes of natural release, I'll release this vent. And that's how that looks. So we'll wait for that, and we'll wait for the veggies from the oven. So I'm going to put this aside over here while that's cooking. And I'm going to bring out that dinosaur kale that I bought the other day. And I told you how I bake this in the oven and it comes out crispy. I'm going to show you that, okay? It's pretty gosh darn good. You may do this differently, but I don't bother washing this. I don't want to wash it, dry it. It's just not that important to me. If things are easy to rinse, I rinse them. I buy organic, so I feel like there's less of an issue with pesticides. As far as who in the store has handled this and germs, you know, I got an immune system, you know what I'm saying? A kick-ass one, so far. So far, so good. All right, so what I'm going to do is, I had a Zoom call today with Renee and Laura, my buddies, my van life buddies. We had so much fun. We had fun. But yeah, Renee teases me for saying, and then what I did was, and then what I'm going to do is, so this is what I'm going to do now. Oh, look at, I said something different. Okay, so I'm going to give this a spray down the bottom. And then, just like when I do the chicken, I like to season the bottom, salt and pepper. I think I'm also going to throw on some garlic powder. And then take off these very ends right here, not very much. So now if I wanted to really make all of this really crispy, I would do it in 2 batches, okay? Single layer, and I'm telling you, they get crispy, almost like crispy like chips. But it's as delicious as that is and how much I enjoy it, it's not really important to me that the whole pan is all crispy. So by doing it all in one batch, a lot of it does not get crispy. Some of it does at the top, a little bit at the bottom, and that's enough for me. So you decide. And then also, I'm cooking this in the toaster oven. If you had you could do all this on a bigger sheet, and it would be less less piled up. So then I just go like that, and then I do my salt. I mean my pepper, my salt, my garlic. Okay, so now I just put this in the oven over here. and I'll put on bake. I'm going to bake it really hot. I'm going to put it on 450, and I'm going to hit start. I'm going to look at it in 10 minutes. And then what I'm going to get ready for when that comes out of the oven is I'm going to show you that that fish that I bought, that I showed you, the haddock fillets from Whole Foods. I'm going to get those ready for baking, and those will go in the toaster oven just as soon as the kale is out. So you see, at the end of this evening, I've already eaten my dinner, so I'm not eating any of this tonight. But I have an hour, and I thought, let me get those veggies roasted. Let me get the rutabagas in the pressure cooker. Let me get this kale nice and crispy, and let me bake some haddock. And then in an hour, I have all of this stuff for the next few days. You know, to me, that's how I operate. All right, so I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to cook in this glass dish. I'm going to put salt in the bottom of the dish. I'm going to put some pepper at the bottom of the dish. Why not a little garlic? Garlic goes good with fish. I'm going to do hot paprika down the bottom. So now I'm going to cut these pieces out. Put one here. One there. I'm going to give them a rub down the bottom so they get covered with all that stuff down there. See that? Put some of this stuff on top as well. On top, I'm going to put smoked paprika. That's all ready for the bacon in the oven. I'm going to say a real hot oven, for me, 10 minutes it's done. Some people want to cook their fish longer. Some people want to cook chicken longer. Me, I don't do that. I just cook it just until it's done. Especially when I want to heat it up. I'll be heating it up in meals. And then that ends up getting baked, almost kind of baked a little bit again, you know. So I don't want to overcook it. So that's what I got. That's what I got. I'll BRB to show you everything when it's done. Okay, the kale is done. So this is what the kale looks like. Okay, listen. You can hear the crunchy pieces. See, they're very crunchy, crispy, crunchy. You can see how crispy they are. They're like chips. They're like chips. I would put this in my mouth right now and crunch it for you, but guess what? I don't eat in between meals. I just don't. Not even kale. Fits in there perfectly. I'm gonna let this cool off. That's gonna be delish tomorrow. Okay, My fish is done. There's the fish, fresh out of the oven. Tomorrow for lunch, I'm going to have 16 ounces of those roasted veggies with a nice 4-ounce piece of that haddock right in the middle on a bed of rice. Delish. Everything is done. It's all on the cooling station. Come have a look at the cooling station. Here it is. Here's the baked haddock with smoked paprika and hot paprika. Here's my crispy kale chips. Here's my roasted veggies. And here is my rutabaga in the Instant Pot. So that was my cooking session for today. I hope you learned some things. If you have any questions, just throw them in the comments section. Any questions about anything I did? As you can see, I kind of just wing it. Like, I don't follow recipes. I don't go online to find out times. I just kind of use my instincts and I improvise when I run into problems. Like the roasted veggies seem to be perfect. 425, half hour, and then 10 minutes under a broiler. They're just done perfect. The kale chips, it was about 10 minutes for the kale chips. And the haddock was about 10 minutes. And yeah, I mean, look at all that food I have for the next few days. Prepare beautiful, healthy foods for yourself and take care of future you. Current Lulu has just taken care of future Lulu. It's very, very important to me to always have what I need, as delicious as I can make it. And I enjoy every gosh darn bite. I just do. And I hope you do too. I hope you love the taste of taking really good care of yourself. All that junk food and all that processed food and all that fried food and all those sugary sauces and sugary marinades and desserts and luncheon meats and sandwiches, and it's just, for me, it's a thing of the past. I've had enough of that. Don't want any more of it. This is the stuff I want. And this is the food that makes my heart sing today. And bye for now.